All right, what's up? What's up, Facebook Live? So today we have another Young and Hungry Spotlight, and the Young and Hungry is powered by ContentCards.com, and that's ContentCards with a Z.com. So what we do here is we have Elyse. How's it going, Elyse?
Good, good. How are you?
Doing good. Good. So Elyse is part of our Young and Hungry 100 Zero group. So what we are is we're a group of real estate agents under the age of 30 that are coming in. We're setting specific measurable goals, and we're having some great breakthroughs. So but before we get to that right now, let's start with Elyse. Elyse, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm under 30, as you all know. I'm a mom of a 6-year-old boy. I'm a full-time real estate agent. And that's me. That's my life.
So tell us a little bit about your boy there, Bean, because he's a very active. He's very active around the office too. We always see him on the call nights.
Bean is very active. I always joke that he's going to be a real estate agent by the time he's 7, because he's with me all the time, but he's very personable. And he's a good little boy. He's a good little boy.
No, he definitely is. He definitely is. So like I said, we have our spotlight here today, which is why Elyse is with us. So we always like to choose one person from the group that has kind of like the highest ROI activity or like that big breakthrough. And this one was inspired. I know Elyse, I'm sure you guys follow her. If you don't, Elyse Coker, you can follow her on Facebook, and I'm sure you can follow in a lot of other places. Where else can they follow you at, Elyse?
Instagram. I have a Facebook page, Snapchat. I do a lot of funny snaps. Bean does a lot of funny snaps. So,
yes, he does.
Personable. So.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend following Elyse on here. But I was watching one of her Facebook videos the other week, and then of course we were talking every Sunday like we do. So it was about clarity, and there was a breakthrough that was hit. So why don't you walk us through a little bit of that video and just a little bit about your mindset of like what led to this big breakthrough?
So it was at a listing appointment, and this lady, I had known her. I met her 2 years ago. So luckily I was still, top of mind. And so she said to me during this appointment, she said, I wouldn't have hired you 2 years ago. And I was kind of like taken aback. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And she just said, you were all over the place and, you didn't really have a clear vision. But then she followed it up with, it seems like it's a total, 180. And I'm paraphrasing, but since then, she's like, why did you say that? She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. It is the stuff I like to hear, that I'm more clear on what I'm doing and what, how I want to run my business and really, create a successful business. So, so she followed it up with that. I'm more clear on, the listing and what I'm doing in real estate, and, the clear vision and business plan that I have to list her house was originally the conversation we had. So that's really where it came. Yeah. The epiphany came was, okay, well, now I know, I've taken a lot, and it's been a lot, a lot of learning, a lot of individualness, like being individual in my business. And so coming back to her 2 years later, to say that, it's like the epiphany that once you get focused on what your foundation is and what your center is in life, that everything else is, it's just a distraction, everything else, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So just to be focused in on your business, your family, your core values, it was just the epiphany that, I had. My theme of the week was clarity. So if you're clear on what your core values are and your foundation is, then you're never going to be successful in your business. And it's true. It's 100% true.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you there. That's something where I went live with Al Stasic a couple days ago too about, and that was something similar. The common theme that we seem to have with Al here in the office is basically like the 100 zeros, just taking accountability for everything, right? And when you do that, your life tends to become a lot easier. So let me ask you this: what was your initial reaction when you heard that? Like, I wouldn't have worked with you 2 years ago, but.
At first I was shocked because I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. That was my thought. But then when she came back, she said, you have a great support system. And that, that hit hard because one of, all of them, Al Stasek, Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Joel Hollow, all of them, they all say, supporting the people who you surround yourself with, the like-minded and supportive people. Right. That really hit home when she brought that up. Like, it seems like you have a great support system, a great team. And so that was just awe-inspiring because then hey, I'm on the right path to running a successful business. So that was kind of, I think my first reaction was like shock. I wasn't sure how to react, but luckily she was continuing on, and so it got more clear of why. And I looking back from where I was 2 years ago and not having a clear direction of where what I was doing and where I was going, I wouldn't have hired me 2 years ago too, but I know now that I'm more refocused and clear on what my center is and what my core values are, and ultimately building my foundation and getting clear of what are my goals, what are my priorities, and holding myself accountable. We wouldn't even, I've been in the business 2 years, it'll come up soon, 2 years this summer. So not having a clear vision and not holding myself accountable, I know that that's not a way to run a business. And luckily with the team that I joined, we have, in the young and hungry groups, we have the accountability. Even you called me out. So you called me out last Sunday. Can I share that story?
Yeah. Go ahead. By all means, share it.
So it really started with Nick, and this is my theme of the week, the clarity video. It started with Nick because if we didn't meet our goals, we were going to go tell our base, like our SOI and our Facebook, that we didn't meet our goals for the week. And I said, I don't want to admit that. I don't want to go live and admit that to my people. But you said a quote from somebody about, your faults and admitting that and admitting where you were. And that's, that ultimately leads to growth. And so I believe it started with you that Sunday, and that's my full circle on that listing appointment on Friday. So, and he called me out for not working out. The thing.
Oh, it was not having enough time to work out. I think that's what it was. Yeah, right.
Yes. So
how many times have you worked out this week now?
I worked out 4 days this week. I went in early. I got to the gym, and it was making the time to do it. The gym is free where I work, so making the time to do it. And I said, that's the first thing I told him when I came on is I worked out 4 days in a row this week. So yeah, it's definitely who you surround yourself with too. And I think, something that Joel, our coach, or my coach, and everything that we talk about daily is stop getting distracted by the things that have nothing to do with your goals. And I think having the 100 to 0 mentality is a lifestyle that you adopt, and that, having the support system like our group on Sundays, and then we have another 100 to 0 group on Tuesdays, is just, surrounding yourself with people that'll hold you accountable to what your goals are. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing because, of course, we have it here in the office. You guys have it there in the office at the Chase Pacer group, that huge support system. You guys have the 100-0 groups that are going all the time. All the agents are very involved. And for a lot of people who don't have that support system, especially younger agents, that's why we created the Young and Hungry. Every Sunday we meet, and we are that support system one another. But I want to draw back a little bit to what we were talking about before. So you could have taken it 2 different ways. You could have heard, I'm not going to work. I wouldn't have worked with you 2 years ago. And you could have been angry about that. You could have held that against her and went a completely different direction. But let's talk about the direction you decided to go. So you took that in, and then what did you end up doing next? What was your big epiphany after that?
So the biggest thing that I did was the realization that, it came to the epiphany that I wouldn't have hired myself 2 years ago. And I made a video on my Facebook.
Yeah.
I made a video on my Facebook, and she sent me a follow-up text, and I'm not going to call her out. She sent me a text and apologized. I said, no need to apologize. I said, that's sometimes we need to hear that. It's, we base our stuff, especially the 100-0, on tough love. So, so doing that, I did list the property for her. So that's what, that's ultimately what it turned into, but it's the reputation you want to have. And I guess that's the biggest thing. Is the thing that I did right after was I texted Joel, my coach, and he holds me the most accountable. And I told him, I said,
oh yeah,
I wouldn't have been here 2 years ago. I probably would have been pissed off. And, 2 years ago, I would have been pissed off Elyse and been like, oh, whatever. But, it really was like an eye-opening and a learning moment for me. And, that I'm learning and growing in my personal life. And, and ultimately it's just turning into, a successful business. And that's what's nice, is to see the growth. You don't necessarily see it when you're in it, but a good friend of mine says you can't connect the dots moving forward. You have to connect the dots looking backwards to connect where you are today. So I know that's probably not the quote, and he'll probably mention it and call it out after this video, but you can't connect the dots moving forward. You connect them looking backwards. So that's really where it came. It just came full circle to where I was. So I texted Joel and I thanked him for holding me the most accountable. Because he does. Like Joel he's just been an awesome mentor and coach. And I know I'm bragging on Joel right now, but
it's well deserved. Yeah.
He doesn't sugarcoat. It's full, it's tough love, but it's always love, and it's always tough love. But he holds me the most accountable. And then I made a video about it, but ultimately I listed the property. But going through this clarity, just realizing like, you have to have a center foundation here. Right. And even in like, if you look at houses, you have to have a foundation of some sort underneath the house. So it's the same concept in life. You have to have that, or you're just it's just a never-ending roller coaster that you're on. So instead of, as we talk about, like a growth. So and to touch back on Joel, it really is amazing how he's there for if you talk to anybody there in the office, they'll probably say the exact same thing. How he's there for them, the support system, the tough love, the accountability, and just how he has time to get everybody and make everybody feel like they're that one person. It really is amazing how he can do that. It is the concept. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, so as far as talking about, so I noticed in your video, and I think this is something that we all kind of go through and have to realize and come to that realization where I know I've been there too, where I would tell everybody, like, you have to be focused on this or that. You have to stay focused. But then looking back on yourself, it's like, man, I have to follow my own advice. I know that's something that you said in the video. So why don't you touch on that a little bit? Like, when did you get that realization? Like, man, I have to follow my own rules that I've been laying down too.
Right. And so it really came, Joel's kind of planted that seed of and he just sent me a text, like one of those quote memes today. And I don't read it direct. So stop getting distracted by the things that have nothing to do with your goals. So that is the realization. That is what I would hammer in to my friends. I'd said, find your center of where you're most happy, most fulfilled, and you have a clear direction of where you want to go in 10 years. Even if it's not, crystal clear, things are going to mud up. There's going to be there's going to be bumps in the road. It's going to happen. But at least if you know that you're in this center, don't let anybody steer you from that center. Your core values, your foundation, don't let anybody steer you from that. And then you won't have any problems not getting distracted, because you can say, hey, no, I can't do that. I gotta go to this listing appointment, or I have to get my calls in. I have to spend time with my son. That was a big thing is, we went through some traumatic things in my son and I over the last couple of years, or a year for that matter. But it really got clear that, I need to spend some time with him as well. So having that equal, I guess, between business and family and personal
balance.
Yeah, a good balance that you have, and everything's in alignment. Then to me, it's just, you're gonna just explode when you have that. And the clear moment of me finding it was, coming to this company that I'm at with EXP right now, and and then obviously working with Joel and with you, and you kind of put it in perspective, and it is. It's just, I couldn't be more blessed to have my moment, like to have the moment of just like, oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I like cheesing. You're like, oh my gosh, look at you.
No, that's great. That's great. Because that's coming to my next point is when you came on that call, I saw you made the video about clarity, but when you came on the call later that Sunday, you can tell you were smiling. I could feel it that you felt more clear, that you're clear on your goals. You knew what was going on. You were happy to come to the call. And like you were saying, a lot of times it's outward. You don't realize when you're unclear because you think you're clear, but you're just not there. But when you reach that moment of clarity, you can tell from the outside, you can tell from the inside that everything was just kind of like beaming through. You came on the call so excited to talk about your goals because you know exactly what you were going to be focused on, which is a big part of these groups. So I want you to talk a little bit about what these groups mean to you, because you're in two of them right now. One in the office, which is more so like in the group here, but then you're also in the Young and Hungry group with us on Sundays. So why don't you talk a little bit about like what those groups have meant to you?
Oh my goodness. It is. So these groups are life-changing. I am telling you this right now. I've never been a part of this. And when you asked, when you posted about the Young and Hungry group, I was like, oh yeah. For sure.
You're all over it. You're all over it.
Tagging people, I was in it. And then when I got in it, I was like, 10 o'clock at night, I'm mother hen. That's what I feel like. I'm the mama. But being with these younger agents, and I can't say that I'm not a newer agent and a younger agent. But being, almost 30, I'm not going to get into how old I am, but almost 30.
We're not going with specifics here, right?
No.
You're under 30. You're part of the Young and Hungry, right?
You'll see when my birthday is. So I'm like, almost there. But being with these young and hungry agents, it I don't know, it just brings something out in you. And I think that's the biggest thing is that we make commitments to each other, but also to ourselves and our business. But being in the Young and Hungry groups, especially this one, because it's under 30. So, it's different. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a different, because everybody has their own level of production and level of like what they want and different goals. You're not, obviously, but these youngins, as I call them, they're just so hungry to be successful. And I think that's the big thing that drives people to come and young agents to come back. So I encourage and you see me tagging people. I'm like, you're under 30, like, you can get it. And then our groups in the office, we, it's everybody on our team. So we meet, once a week. And as I'll call out one of our older agents, Dan Walters, he's been around for
one of our more seasoned.
More seasoned. I guess I shouldn't say older. That's me. Sorry, Dan, if you're watching. But but seasoned agents, they have such knowledge, and it's intermixed with all of us that are less than 5 years in the business, and it's good insight. But two, we also have some stakes if we don't meet our goals. But when you show up and you don't, or excuse me, commitments. They're commitments that you make to reach your bigger goal. But the commitments that we make, if we don't meet them, it's like you come in and it's like you let everybody down. And that's really, that's the biggest thing is that they hold us, we hold each other accountable 100%. And that's the biggest takeaway that I've had from these groups. And honestly, there are commitments that I don't think I would have done if I wasn't a part of these groups. So I encourage every agent to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I don't know if I'd be waking up at 4:30 like I do right now if it wasn't for the groups and have the ability with it.
I would not 4 days in a row if it wasn't for these groups and having that commitment to do that and to strive to be better. And that's, I think my goals were 3 days this week, and I'm at day 4, and I still continue to do that, until our next meeting.
Yeah, and we're doing fun things like this week. I won't lie. I went 2 for 3 on my goals last week. So what I have to do is I have to send a video to the group. This was our quote unquote punishment for not hitting our goals. I have to send a video of me singing to the group. Now, like I said, I don't know if that is punishment to the group or myself more, but that's one thing that we have to do. So we have that aspect, and then also what we're doing in our other group is every time you don't hit a goal, let's say you go 2 for 3, then you have to donate $1 to the pot, and then we're going to be choosing the charity at the end of the month that we're going to be making our donations to. So it's, we have some good things going on here. But let me ask you this. Let's end off with this. What would you say to somebody that's on the fence about joining the group right now?
I would say don't be on the fence. It's worth joining because especially like for newer agents, and I know a lot of newer agents. I can name 5 at right now, and so those agents.
Should you name them?
What should I call them out real quick?
I think we should.
No, I tagged them in a post. So those agents, especially being newer, like there's so many things that you can learn just in this group. And it's not saying that you're going to learn every aspect of real estate, but making commitments and watching, 2-year-old agents or 5-year-old agents, however long they've been in the business, make these commitments, then, again, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. If you want to be successful, in any business, this is beyond real estate. If you want to live a fulfilled life and be successful, you surround yourself with like-minded and supportive people. And I think for this group in particular, the young and hungry, I mean, these people are phenomenal, and they hold you accountable. So for these new agents or people on the fence about joining, just join. If it's not for you or whatever, we're sad to see you go, but I think the group effort and the, collaborating with other agents, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal too, to know what to listen to, get other people's viewpoints and agents and so many tips and tricks. And that's probably why, I encourage people to do it. And I tag I've tagged a couple, you've seen me, I've been tagging posts because it's just, and it doesn't matter what brokerage you're from. We don't talk about brokerage. We talk about your personal commitments to meeting your ultimate goals. And so that's, commitments to create habits to reach that goal. And so that's why I would say join. If you're on the fence, just do it. And it's a 6 week, our one's in 4 week, 6 week. I don't know.
So we're doing 6 week right now, but we've had discussions just to keep it ever going, just to keep them rolling. Cause I know we could switch up different groups. So we have a bunch of different times on Sunday. You don't have to do 10 PM. We have earlier times, and we're going to be mixing into middle of the day times. So we're going to be mixing at different times on Sundays. So yeah, it's a great place to get all that accomplished, like you were saying. Share different tips and tricks, and even beyond that, it's people from all over the nation, from people from all different circles. So you're not just stuck in one specific mindset. You're getting tactics used in Seattle. You're getting tactics used in Texas. Shout out Sarah. You're getting tactics used in Seattle for Garrett. Like there's a lot of different ways that we're getting different tactics that people are using. So you're getting a lot of different viewpoints. For every problem, chances are somebody on that call has gone through a similar issue. So they'll be able to give some insight to what they did wrong and then point you in the direction of what to do right. And even beyond that, we all have mentors as well. We all have people that we can reach out to if there's a specific problem that we can get help with. And
just like, it's not, and we say it's holding you accountable, but it's not like, why didn't you get that done? Why didn't you do that? No, it's, how can you fit this in? Or did you have time in your schedule to do it? Or maybe try this instead of this. And it's nothing like, why didn't you get that done? It's not like we're not drill sergeants, we're real estate, all trying to have a successful business, but we're among our peers. So it's not like a drill session. We're not, we're all peers. We're not we're not leader. I mean, we want to be leaders. We fully accountable, but it's no look down upon anyone. That's a goal. It's just more so what held you back from hitting the goal. Did you do everything in your power to hit that goal? Right. So it's more so just making sure we hold each other accountable, give each other a little tough love to make sure that we hit our goals. Because that's the main point, just hitting our goals. And the only thing you have to bring to the call is commitment. That's it. As long as you're committed, you'll always have a place with us. So with that being said, Elyse, thank you for coming on. Remember, guys, you want to join the Young and Hungry, powered by ContentCards.com. That's ContentCards with the Z.com. You guys can just message me directly.
you can message interested below. You could reach out to Elyse. She's been a big advocate of ours. And do you have any closing lines here?
Join the group because
join the group.
You're missing out. It's a good,
yeah.
a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And we also are all working on our business. So we have a lot of fun and hold each other accountable. I think it's a good opportunity for those under 30 before you turn 30. like I'm the other end. So I'm at the tail end of mine, but it's still nice to get that fire back with these youngins.
Like I said, guys, we have a lot of fun. We make it fun. We hit some goals, and we make some donations in the meantime. So, guys, reach out if you have any questions about it. You can reach me out on Facebook. Messenger bot's always open. So, Elyse, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing. I'm sure a lot of people got a lot of value out of it. So, we'll see everybody later.
Bye.